Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my bare face. Today I really didn't have anything planned, but I wanted to film, so I thought I would try the full face of drugstore makeup, and I did not pre-decide to do this, so it's just on a whim. So hopefully I have some drugstore products for every portion of my face, so it's kind of a discovery test for me as well, to go through my collection and to see if I actually have drugstore items to do a full face of makeup. I'm pretty sure that I do, so I'm gonna dig in and see what I have and do a full face of makeup. This is also going to contain a couple of first impressions because I have some items that I recently got, not in preparation for this video, just picked up because they were on clearance or whatever. If I've never tried them and wanted to try it, so we may have a couple of first impressions in here. I'm not sure how many, but we'll see as we go. So the first thing that I want to do is prime my face. So my two primers that I'm going to use are the Boscia. This is the No Shine, No Pores T-Zone treatment. And you might be saying, Whitney, that's not drugstore. But I'm including it in this because I don't have a mattifying drugstore primer. And I got this at TJ Maxx for $10, which is along the price lines of a drugstore primer. So I'm going to use it. And then I'm going to be using a Baby Skin from Maybelline. This is going to be my pore filling primer. Oh, on that note, if you have, or if you know of any mattifying primers that are actually from the drugstore that can be purchased at the drugstore, let me know in the comments below, because I do need to get an actual drugstore primer. But I just take one pump of the Boscia primer and kind of place it in the T-zone where I have the most oily areas. And as I let that set, I'm going to go in with the Maybelline Baby Skin. And I just like to pat this into the areas of my face that have the most pores, so my cheeks first, and then I'll drag it to the outer areas of my face. And like I said, these products are all products that I already have in my collection. I did not go out and buy anything in preparation for this video. So these are all items that I've purchased that I've really wanted to try, that excited me, that I love trying, that I've repurchased. So these are a good idea of like some drugstore, I guess, favorites of mine. So once I let that primer kind of sink into my face for a minute, usually the next step that I love to do is color correct underneath my under eyes right there. But I do not have a drugstore color corrector, so that's something that I need to look into. If you have any favorite peach tone color correctors from the drugstore, let me know. So I guess the next thing is going to be my foundation. I'm going to go in, I recently hauled this, and I bought it because it was on clearance at Ulta. So this is the CoverGirl Clean Matte foundation in the shade 540 Natural Beige. It might be a little dark for me, I'm really not sure, but we'll just go with it and see how it works. You all know that I typically love to mix foundations, but for today, we're going to do like a little first impression on this. So I'm just going to use this by itself and see how it turns out. Okay, so this foundation is kind of really liquidy and it just pours out, which I'm not really a huge fan of. I do like foundations with a pump, but I'm just going to place this on and see what kind of coverage we're getting. So first putting it on, it's super light coverage, so I'm definitely going to need way more product. And I thought for this video I'd use my Real Techniques Miracle Sponge, but I find that this, compared to like the Beauty Blender, soaks up a lot more product and stays a lot more wet than the Beauty Blender does. Even though like I wrung this out really well, it's still so much more wet, so I feel like it absorbs like a lot more product. Anyway, so I feel like if you can tell a difference, like yes, there's a little bit of coverage, but not much at all. So I'm gonna put the rest of this on, and I already used everything that was on my hand, so I have to go in with more to just do the rest of my face. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and then come back and see what kind of coverage this does, and I might do 2 layers. Okay, so this is one full layer on the face. I'm gonna let this set for a minute. It did give me some coverage, but clearly it's a light, very light coverage. You can see all of my freckles. You can see all of my acne marks. It didn't really give much coverage at all. So if you're someone who loves like a super natural look with like just a touch of coverage, this would probably be really good for you. I'm someone who really enjoys more of a full coverage. So I'm going to let this set for a second, and then I'm going to apply a second layer and see how that goes on top of this. Okay, so I just went in and put on a second layer, and if you can tell, my face is like extremely shiny. The second layer went on so much more wet looking than the first layer, and I'm not quite sure why that is. But if you can tell, it did give me a lot more coverage. So I'm hoping that this kind of sets down once I give it a minute and mattifies a little bit, so that way I can go in with a powder and really set it. But do you see the shine that that second layer gave me? And it's kind of crazy. But the coverage definitely is buildable. So I would say this is a light to buildable medium coverage foundation, which is good, great for an everyday. So I'm really impressed by that. Okay, so I'll let that sit for a couple of minutes, and it didn't really set down at all, so it still looks very shiny. I'm going to go in with my NYX HD Concealer in the shade 02. You all know that I absolutely love this concealer. I use it for brightness, not so much coverage, but this is the only concealer from the drugstore that I have in my collection right now, which is kind of crazy to me, but that's what it is, so we're going to use it. And it's okay because we're going for a more natural look today too. I don't need to be doing anything glam. I'm just gonna run some errands, probably go to Sephora today. There's a couple of things that I want to pick up. So I'll be at the mall, so I'm just gonna run some errands and go shopping a little bit. I really love this NYX HD concealer because it does give a light coverage, but it just brightens the face so effortlessly, and it blends out very effortlessly as well. And you can see just how bright my under eyes and the center of my face look with this. Like I said, it's not a ton of coverage, but I like to layer it. I didn't layer it today. Sorry if you can hear my son and my husband there in the living room. And he's 3, so he yells when he doesn't get immediate attention. So that's it for the concealer. I really like the way that that looks over the foundation. So to set my concealer, you all know this is one of my favorites. This is probably like the 5th one I've purchased of these. This is the Wet n Wild Contour Palette. This is in the shade Dolce de Leche. This is actually a brand new one because I am all out of the light pan of my other 2. I still have the contour shade in those 2, but I am out of the highlight side. So I'm going to go in with my e.l.f., what is this? Blush brush, but it's very tapered. And I just dip it right into that light shade. And these are super powdery, but that doesn't bother me. And then I just dab it right into those areas to set the concealer. And this shade, the Dolce de Leche, is perfect. Sorry for the light changing, you know, I'm dealing with light. So this light shade really helps to bring the light and the brightness back to the face to set that concealer. And also it is super finely milled, so it really just packs into like the fine lines and wrinkles that I have, and it really sets everything, and it just looks really beautiful. To set the rest of my face, I'm going to use this Ulta Fabulous Face powder. This is in the shade Fair to Light, and this is, I haven't used this one before, but I've actually gone through an entire compact like this previously. I just don't like to have too many powders open at the same time, so I hadn't opened this one, but for this video we're gonna use it. It's a little light, but we're just gonna contour and bronze up the face afterwards. So I'm gonna this powder on a fluffy brush and then set the rest of the face that doesn't have any of the concealer powder. And yes, I know I look like a ghost right now. We're going to fix that with some contour and bronzer because this shade is just slightly too light for me right now. But I did set the whole face. I do really like this powder because it's super finely milled. And it, is it a powder foundation? No, it's just a pressed powder, but I find it does give a little more coverage to the face. So I do really like this powder from Ulta brand. So at first I thought I didn't have any bronzers from the drugstore, but then I found this one from Pixi. Pixi by Petra. This is in the shade Beauty Bronzer Summertime. Oh, I guess the shade's just Summertime. So this you can find in Target. I'm not sure where else you can find it. I think I got this in an empty bag. I don't feel like I purchased it outright. I have used it a few times. So we're going to use this to bronze up the face. It has a nice little shimmer to it. I just like to dip a big fluffy brush and then go into the face. And this is going to help to give us a little bit more life to the face, especially because we are super pale and looking like a ghost right now. So I like to do the cheekbones, the hollows in the cheeks, the temples, the forehead. And then I do like to take it down the neck a little bit as well. So that bronzer is actually really pretty, and you can see it, the slight shimmer that it gives. I really, really like that. So this is, like I said, the bronzer in Summertime by Pixi by Petra. I like the shade that it gave my skin as well. That's really pretty. I'm going to have to remember to bust that out and use it a little more. So the next product that I'm going to go in with is obviously my contour, and this is the same Wet n Wild contour kit in Dulce de Leche. This is the old formula. So, oh yeah, mine's actually broken. Oh my god. I told y'all I went through the light shade, but I still had the contour. Let me show y'all the difference. This is the one that I just used, the new Dulce de Leche. This is the old Dulce de Leche. And look at, I just dug my nail into it. Look at the difference in the bronzer shade, the contour shade. I so much prefer this one, the old formula. And look at how dark and just brown that shade is. This is not a bad shade, but I loved this shade. And they no longer sell this formula. It's the new formula. So unfortunately, you can't get this shade anymore. This is my last pan of it, so I use it sparingly, but it's drugstore, and we're going to use it today. So I like to take it on a denser brush, and I just focus it right into the hollows of the cheeks, and it creates a really nice shadow. And I'll take it up to the hairline, and I know I look like a savage when I'm doing this. I'm just a little rough. I can't help myself. I'll take just a tiny bit on my nose. I don't really contour my nose, but I do just like to create a touch of a shadow since we put all that brightness there. And then, you know it, I'm getting that double chin. And just like that, we have some life back into our skin. I absolutely love, 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 love these powders from Wet n Wild. Okay guys, so far so good. We've had a drugstore product for everything. I'm so excited about that. The next thing I do is my brows. So this is my e.l.f. Brow pencil in the shade Natural Brown. So we're going to see what we can do with this. And then I always like to set my brows with a powder. Typically I use Anastasia, but that's not drugstore, we all know. So I'm going to go in with this Pixi by Petra brow powder. It's like a trio that gives you like 2 different shades of brown. Let me open it up for you guys. It gives you two different shades of brown, and then it gives you like a lighter taupey color. So kind of universal for everybody. And I'm going to go in and set that. I cannot do my brows on camera, but I'm going to do them off camera with these products, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I thought it wouldn't be fair to not show anything on my brows on camera, because then how do you know that I'm really using these products? So I'm going to do like a little bit and then cut out, and then do a little bit on this side, cut out, finish them up, so that way you can tell that I'm actually... that I'm actually using these products. And this is like the most boring stuff to watch, but Alright, is that enough? I created a little bit of a brow, so with this pencil, so I'm going to go off camera, really shape it out, and I'm just going to do this one off camera. Here, I'll give you all a little boop, 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 boop. Actually using these products, I'm going to shape them up for real, and I'll be right back. Okay. Okay, so let's see. The eyebrows are done. They're looking quite harsh, if I have to say so. Let me try and... I do like the e.l.f. brush. The spoolie is really nice. And I do like the product that is in the e.l.f. pencil. Unfortunately, the coloring, they only offer this in 3 colors. So that's not going to fit everybody. And the tip on this is huge. I have big eyebrows, but I could not get, like, I don't know, my brows got out of control. So then I went on top and set it with the Pixie by Petra brow powder. Is this in the shade? It just says Shades of Brow Mini Trio. This was okay, but definitely not my favorite, and I really don't think I would recommend that to purchase. Just saying. Next thing, eyeshadow, which I love. Eyeshadow is my favorite, if you couldn't tell by that eyeshadow. Anyway, what I like to do is set an entire base. So I already have like my foundation and concealer tapped onto the eyelids as well, so that way it can create like an even base. So what I like to do is just set all of that with this shadow. This is my absolute favorite. This is the single shadow from Wet n Wild in the shade Creme Brulee. As you can tell, I have hit major pan. I have gone through so many of these. But what I do is just load up my brush and just pat it on. And I do this all the way from the inner corner to the outer corner. From the eyebrow all the way down to the eyelashes. So just everywhere on the eyelid. And what that does is it just creates a nice clean base for all of our other shadows to go onto. It's going to set all the cream products underneath, so that way there's no creasing or fading. Having that as a base really helps to keep my shadows where they need to be. Next, I'm going to go into this single shadow. This is from NYX. I don't have a shade because I depotted it out of the container. But it is from NYX. It's just a matte medium brown. And you can get that in the drugstores or like Ulta. And I just take this as a transition shade into the crease on a fluffy brush. This is the Wet n Wild fluffy crease brush. It's like $1, and it is actually one of my absolute favorites. I always reach for this brush. It's so soft, and it just disperses the product exactly right. So that transition color, I just put all over the transition, like in the crease, up to the brow. Not really on the lid, but towards the lid. And what that does is it just creates a barrier for any other shadows to transition nicely, so that way there's no harsh lines when we apply other shadows. And I don't really know what kind of look I'm going to do today, but if you're doing like dramatic shadows, the transition is super important. You just want to pick a color that's like a shade or two darker than your skin tone. Okay, so I'm going to go in with my Carli Bybel palette. I don't know if I've actually showed you guys an eye look with the Carli Bybel palette. This is what I'm panning for 2017. So it is drugstore. It's BH Cosmetics, which is now sold in Ulta, the drugstore side of Ulta. This entire palette is only $14.50. You get 10 eyeshadows and 4 highlighters. For me, one of them is a bronzer because it is super dark, but here they are, eyeshadows, bronzer, and then highlights. You have seen this palette before. I absolutely love it, but I don't know if I've actually showed you an eye look with the palette. So let's jump right in. I'm going to take, let's say, my normal routine, like the shades I'll wear during the week for work, are typically this top row. But today, let me just go with a bronzy look. I'm really feeling this bronzy tone in from that Petra bronzer. I really like the way that looks. Let me know if y'all are getting the same reaction, but I really like the way that looks on the skin. So I'm gonna play with this second row today, and I'm gonna go in with let's see. I'm going to go in with this middle shade right here with the flat shader brush. This is also from Wet n Wild. And I'm just going to pack that all over the lid so that way you can see the beautiful bronze effect that it gives. And these shadows are so pigmented. I mean, look at that. And you're getting a lot of reflect from the light because this is a very shimmery shade. But I'm just packing that onto the lid. And this is not with a wet brush. This is just straight out of the palette onto the lid. No tricks, no gimmicks. These shadows can be a little bit powdery, so if you want to do your eye look first before your face, but I don't ever really mind it. I can usually just wipe it away with a large powder brush and then I don't have an issue. Okay, and with that I just follow like the natural shape of my eye, but look at the color and pigmentation of that on the lid, and it's so pretty, the reflect. I'm going to go into this e.l.f. This is from e.l.f. It is called the Little Black Beauty Book. This is the warm edition, and this does have a mirror in it, so let me just cover that. I'm just going to take this dark brown right here. As you can tell, I've loved the heck out of this. All of these shadows are gone. This one I repressed this one, I repressed this one. So I used the heck out of this little palette. I really like it, but I'm going to go in with this deep brown just to darken the outer corners. And I'm going to go in with this e.l.f. brush, which is the crease brush. And if you can't tell, I really love e.l.f. As a brand. They're very affordable. They're drugstore. They're decent quality products, good quality products. Some of their brushes are my absolute favorites. And then the eyeshadows, some people might say like, oh, they're not too pigmented. Yes, they are drugstore. They do need to be built up a little bit. But for the price, I can take 5 extra minutes to build it up. It's not a big deal. So I just dipped this small brush into that brown shade. And as you can tell, I mean, tell me that's not pigmented. Are you kidding me? It's not a dark color, but I don't need it to be like black. It's just a dark warm brown. So I'm just deepening out that outer third and then dragging it into the crease a little bit. And I feel like the camera is washing it out just a little bit because in person it or the lights are washing it out because it is super pigmented. And the brown looks more brown in person than on camera right now. So I'm just darkening out that outer third and just dragging it up a little bit into the crease. And that's going to give us a nice shape on the eye. And then go in with that original transition shade brush, no additional product on it, and just kind of blend it out a little bit. The only thing that I have to say about the Carli Bybel shadows is that they do transfer. So like the shimmer and the glitter, if you can tell, transferred from the lid when I was blending up into the crease. So that's the only thing. It doesn't bother me. That I could care less about. The look still is something that I enjoy, but that does happen. So what I'm going to take now is this bronzer shade because I use that as an eyeshadow. It's too dark for me basically everywhere else. So I just take that on that same flat brush. And I just run that in the outer corner. Because this shade is slightly deeper than the first one that we put on. And then you can go in with that fluffy brush or a clean fluffy brush and just kind of buff out those edges. And that's basically it. I'm going to take, they have this darker shade right here. It's kind of weird because it's like an olivey brown. It's not like a true brown. It's a little off for me, but I'll use this as like a lower lash line. Pardon my crazy face. And I'll just take that on the outer third. Is it weird that it's easier for me to do this looking into the viewfinder? Oh, crazy. Okay. Yeah, so I take that into the outer third. You know what? I'm going to take a little bit of that and put it into the crease as well. Because I have all that shimmer on the lid, I like to highlight the brow bone with this satin matte shade. It's a matte shade, but it's got a slight sheen to it, so that's why I call it like a satin matte. But it's not shimmery by any means. And I just take that and apply it to the brow. And it gives a beautiful highlighted effect. And then what I'll do is with that transition shade brush, I'll just buff that because I want to meld and mesh together that line so that way we don't have any harsh line. And then there you go. A beautiful bronzy eye. We're not entirely finished yet, but that's the base for it. I always want my inner corners to like blind people, so it doesn't matter how much shimmer I have on the lid. I want the inner corners to in your face. So this is my Maybelline Single Shadow in the shade Vanilla. This has like the most shine and just metallic finish when you put it on. So I'm just using a small e.l.f. brush. And look. Oh, do you see? Okay. No shimmer in the inner corner. Look at all that. It's beautiful. So if you need a blinding white shade for highlighting your face, highlighting your inner corner, your brow bone, to place all over the lid, this Single Shadow from Maybelline, look at that. It is freaking gorgeous. Oh god, it's so good. Okay. Ooh, I love it. Okay, you guys, I was looking for an eyeliner, and out of the tons of eyeliner that I have, like pencil liners, these are the two drugstore liners that I have. That is absolutely pitiful. So pitiful. So they are both from e.l.f. This is a mineral eyeliner, and this is just their standard pencil liner. So the issue that I'm having is that this one's in gold, which could work. It's not extremely pigmented, but we will maybe try. And this is in a beautiful plum tone color. So I'm kind of feeling this. I think I might go with the purple one and see what happens, because this one's really not pigmented. I probably just need to declutter it. I'm not a good declutterer. I don't want to get rid of anything, but we shall see. I'm gonna go in with this purple one. This has zero pigmentation. Okay, that did a little bit. I'm gonna go in a tight line with the same one and see how that works. Okay, please excuse the bloodshot redness in my eyes. I do like the finish that this e.l.f. liner gave, but literally I've been sitting here for like 5 minutes applying it to the waterline and to the tight line to try and get a decent pigmentation. So this is a fail for me. If you have any good drugstore eyeliners, I'm sure there are plenty. I just don't own any. You can let me know so that way I can try and pick some up. Ooh. Okay, moving on. Another e.l.f. product. This is the blush palette in Light. And, oh, if I can open it, this is what it looks like. So I'm going to go into these two shades right here and see what I can get on my cheeks. These blushes are extremely pigmented. So you just need a tiny bit. And because I'm doing this bronzy look, I wanted to go in with that more neutral shade, but I always like to have a flush of pink on the cheeks, which is why I dipped into this one as well. That's really pigmented. Whew, that got out of hand very quickly. But these blushes are super pigmented. This pack is only like $6. Well worth it. If you guys didn't know it. I'm going in for highlight with this Carly Bible palette. I have been loving these highlights. They are absolutely gorgeous on the skin. I'm going to dip into this gold tone first, and then I'm going to top it with a mixture of these two. So that is just the straight gold one. Tell me that is not beautiful. This palette's $14.50. Go get it. Now I'm going to take a mixture of these two and top it. I love wearing these highlighters mixed. I know I'll go overboard on the nose. I love that. I feel like I have a cute little button nose, and I like to accentuate it, so there you go. I don't know what that was, but there it was. Alright guys, we are in the home stretch. We're almost done. Almost done. So next thing I'm going to go in with is mascara. This is the Rimmel Lash Accelerator. I typically use this just for my lower lashes, but I do enjoy it for the top lashes. So we're just going to go in hard with this mascara. It's more of a natural look, but the bristles are so, like the wand is so small and the bristles are like the perfect space apart that they grip onto each lash and just really coat it. Look at that. It's natural, but it's definitely noticeable. Okay, guys, I cannot believe we're almost finished this full face of drugstore makeup, and I actually had a product from the drugstore for every single item. Woo! I'm so excited. So, tell me that this mascara did not make my lashes look... look at them. Okay, enough. For lips, I'm going to go in with a little combo. You know I have to up it up. I love combos. This is an Ulta brand lipstick in the shade 257. It's just a nude color, and this is the Neutrogena like chubby stick, and this is in the shade Fresh Papaya number 20. I love this crayon. It smells, it's my favorite drugstore chubby lipstick pencil thing in the world. It smells so good, and they glide on. Let me show y'all. Like a damn dream. Like a dream. They are super soft. It's a sheer to light coverage, like pigmentation. They just feel so hydrating. Yeah, this is a moisture smooth color stick. So super hydrating, slightly pigmented, absolutely beautiful on the lips. They make my lips feel so good when I'm wearing them. These Neutrogena moisture smooth sticks, I recommend 1,000 times over to go purchase and try. They are phenomenal. So that is just the shade Papaya, Fresh Papaya number 20 from the Neutrogena stick. I wanted to use this because I love it, but for this look, it's just, I think, a little too peachy or too peachy pink. So I'm going to go over top of it with this nude shade from Ulta. And this is just a basic lipstick. I don't think there's anything special to these. Just a basic nude lipstick. But I love having one of these on hand because it helps to balance out any crazy lipstick colors, or like just even it out or tone it down a little bit. And as you can tell, you can still see the hint of peachy pink through it. But it really toned it down to a nice nude color. So I jinxed myself right before we finished. Teardrop. I don't have a setting spray. I do not have a setting spray from the drugstore. All my setting sprays are high-end, either Urban Decay, and I have one from Pure. I have the MAC Fix Plus from MAC. I do not have one drugstore setting spray. So leave your recommendations down below for a drugstore setting spray. I know I've seen a lot recently about the new Milani one, so I may definitely have to pick that one up. But other than that, we did it, guys. Look, a full face. And I think it turned out pretty darn good. Let me know how you liked it. If you like this look, if you really enjoy any of these products or really hate any of these products. I don't want to get too negative. I just want to keep it positive. I absolutely love all of these products. They were already in my collection. I did not go out and purchase any of these specifically for this video. So that's how you know I feel like these are items that I actually use, because these items are in my collection. It's what I bought. It's what I spent my money on. So I really hope that you like this look and this video. Leave all of your positive thoughts and comments below. I love to hear from you guys. Subscribe if you enjoy my channel, if you like this video, so that way you can catch all of my future videos. And I really appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.